Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into the absolute thick of it, scene 27 of the Apocalypse Beckons storyline. We are diving into the pivot and the plunge. This is that pivotal chapter where some truly massive sacrifices are made, a dangerous threshold is crossed, and our fellowship is pushed right to the absolute brink. Before we get into all the details, I want you to just sit with this question for a second. What price would you pay to escape a burning city? And what happens when the cold on the other side takes away your greatest power? We're looking at a massive narrative arc today, tracing our heroes as they move from a chaotic, smoldering fire zone straight into a chilling, totally powerless freeze. Section 1. The Cost of Escape. Fleeing the Fires of Ashwillow. Okay, let's dive into this. To really grasp the cost of this escape, just look at this stark environmental contrast. It is wild. On the left, we've got the smoldering ruins of Ashwillow. Following the defeat of the Hand of Gormak, the city was just plunged into absolute chaos. We're talking ruthless warlords igniting a mob-scale civil war, volcanic heat, blood, ash everywhere. But then on the right, you have where they're heading, the frozen reaches of Kolovac. It's a jarring, violent physical shock of a shift, going from that sweltering, chaotic battle to a biting, crystalline chill and this incredibly eerie, zombified stillness. But as you'll see, getting there wasn't free. The reality of this crossing forced a really cold, hard bargain with the Goliath Queen Toxana. Look at what they had to sacrifice here just to survive. A volatile hand cannon, that mysterious, unopened Zephyr black box, a rare blue coin of treasure finding, and even a bookie's ledger. And what did they get in exchange? Winter gear and a portal jump north. It brilliantly illustrates this brutal strategic inventorying where they coldly bartered away powerful lore items purely for survival and a way out. Now, they didn't leave completely empty-handed, right? Let's take a look at Welsies, our vanguard paladin. As a dwarven vengeance paladin who's known for literally charging headfirst into battle with his great old axe, good old C-3PO, he needs every single edge he can get. So, before leaving the land of Ash behind, Welsies and Atenimus hit up a secret pirate auction and managed to secure a heavily rune-etched belt of fire giant strength. Acquiring this belt is a massive, absolutely necessary upgrade for his frontline combat style as they head into all these unknown freezing dangers. Section 2. The Bard's Farewell. A Legacy Left Behind. So, physical items weren't the only things left behind in the ashes of Ashwillow. We also have to say a pretty tough goodbye to Howl, the ASMR bard. Howl has been the Fellowship's chronicler, you know? He's the guy taking the notes, embellishing the tales, and spreading the saga of their heroic deeds across the lands. But after seeing that apocalyptic clash back in the Iron Crown Fortress, Howl decides he's officially seen enough of the dangerous heroic life. He chooses to return to his familiar haunts, to sing and tell stories, and he even takes back his magical earring of foretelling. It's such a beautiful, somber detail. He left them humming a mournful dirge. The party is essentially losing their voice to the outside world, and it really cements this profound feeling of transition and deep loss for the Fellowship. Section 3. Splitting the Forces. Dividing to Conquer. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it clearly delineates a massive tactical shift. The group realizes they just cannot tackle the Demon Gormak's generals all at once. It's impossible. So they divide into two distinct units with very different immediate goals. On the left, we have the recon team. Kolkita, Zora, Azoriel, Tucker, and Jebediah heading back to Mistwood. And over on the right, the main party. Welsies, Aaron, Atenimus, Bip, and Debbie heading straight through that portal to Kolovac. The recon team's mission is absolutely critical here. They're going in to perform clandestine shadow work in Mistwood to surveil the defenses and pinpoint the location of the beholder general known as the Eye. They have to remain totally hidden and plan a strategic attack. This stealth mission is vital to ensure the Fellowship's overall survival while the main party pushes forward into the cold. Section 4. The Frozen North. Arriving in Kolovac. Let me tell you, the transition through that portal was a violent physical shock. That sweltering volcanic heat was instantly replaced by a biting chill. But honestly, the cold isn't even the scariest part. It's the fact that this is a city gripped by a chilling stillness. The inhabitants are moving around like hollow shells with glazed eyes. They're just performing their duties as zombified drone workers, showing absolutely zero regard for the world around them. It builds an incredibly eerie, unsettling atmosphere right off the bat. So how do you even survive this kind of creeping silence? Well, Alaminus learned from the local barkeep that the wind itself literally carries dangerous whispers.
The advice? Never listen to the wind. Just ignore it entirely. And the defense against this apocalyptic threat is so cartoonish but totally vital. You push wax into your ears. It perfectly highlights the surreal, almost absurd reality of Kolovak, where survival means you literally have to plug your ears to tune out the creeping madness. The party dynamics immediately shift here too. First off, they meet up with some new chosen allies who are already up in the north. Robin Cade, the human rogue, Percy Gin, the human monk, and Dean Scotch, the Goliath fighter. And the danger is immediate. We've got Debbie, the elf wizard, ever resourceful, literally using a flurry of snowballs to slow down a fleeing monster in the frozen gloom. It's a really brief, chilly combat that instantly sets the tone for their dangerous new environment.
Section 5. A Warlock's Sudden Loss. The Silence of Magic. So, the crucial point in all of this happens right as the adrenaline of that brief snowball fight crashes. We have to look at Adetemus. Let's remind ourselves exactly who he is, right? He's the half-elf warlock of the core party. He relies heavily on a really demanding, sinister demon patron who's constantly testing his moral foundation and handing down dark tasks. Most importantly, he provides absolutely crucial explosive combat utility. Spells like Eldritch Blast and Shatter. His specific magical capabilities are exactly what have kept the party alive up to this very point. But then, falling to his knees and clutching his head in absolute dread, Adetemus just gasps, "I think my patron is dead." Guys, it is a harrowing visual. Dark, wispy smoke literally rises from his failing body and just whisks away on the northern gale. His powers are fading fast. His purple prophecy marks are throbbing with this agonizing light. A faint pink aura surrounds him, and he just collapses into a deep, exhausted sleep right there at the tavern. The core magical artillery of the entire party is just gone. Section 6 Target. The Voice. The Looming Threats in Chronopolis. We are heading right toward the climax of this explainer now, because despite this catastrophic loss of magic, the mission cannot stop. They have to march north. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. How in the world will the Fellowship face Gormak's general, the Voice, without Atenemus's power? The north is dead silent, the warlock is powerless, and the apocalypse beckons. How do they survive this? Well, we're just going to have to find out next time. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.